everybody, John David had a 9 out of 10 day. He, yesterday, since I didn't make one yesterday he had a pretty decent day. He moved back from the pediatric ICU up here back to step down, where same room that we were in. And so they actually held it for us while we were gone, which was really nice. And so we moved back in, and he had more or less a chill day. I'm gonna be honest, I was scared to like move him too much. Just, he had surgery, and we were actually told this by his pre-op nurse because she asked what number surgery this was, and we were like, you know, he's had 9 open heart surgeries. We were like 10th surgery, and she was like, I've read his chart. He's had way more than 10 surgeries. And we were like, well, yeah, he's had like a lot of surgical procedures, like, chest openings, chest closings, things of that nature. She's like, you better count those. And so I went back and actually counted all the other ones. So Friday made his 21st surgical procedure. So he's had a lot, like a lot. Which again kind of plays into why I was like not wanting him to move too much. So yesterday was kind of chill. Today, towards the evening yesterday, he was starting to try and roll by himself, and he was getting much more active. You could tell he wasn't as sore because he was just kind of moving around a whole lot more. And so today he was super active. He definitely was way more talkative. He was feeling himself a lot. We also had a visit from our friends from the Threefold Core Project today, Hannah, Sarah, and Tabby, and we respect and admire them greatly for their strength in coming back. And they brought bereavement boxes in memory of their little girls, Kennedy, Josie, and Eden, and gave 5 to the NICU and then 5 to the PCICU. And while they were here, they came by and saw John David, and he loved seeing them and being able to play with them. They actually came when he was on the floor doing some floor time, and he was trying to show off and trying to roll on his belly for them. And we all joked that the only reason why he was trying to roll on his belly, which he has not really tried to do much up to this point, but he was very adamant that he was going to try and do it today multiple times, was that he was only trying to do it because he's on restrictions right now and he's not supposed to be on his belly. And he has heard us say that, and because of that, he was like, you know what, watch me, I'm going to get on my belly. He was not successful at any point, thankfully, but he was trying really hard. But he's had a pretty good evening outside of that, with a few caveats I'll talk about here in a second. But we took a walk outside. He got to see the fall leaves that Mallory created for him that y'all will see. It was a really pretty sunset we got to see, and so all in all, he's had a pretty decent day. Now, the caveats that I was talking about, he did spike a fever at one point. However, it seems it was probably more my fault because I put the helmet on and then didn't turn on a fan, and so he got a little flustered when they were taking like his vitals and things like that, and so he got a little warm. And then once we took the helmet off and everything, he's gone back down and been fine. The other thing is that he's had some flecks of blood in his stool, which is something that happens a lot of times with kids who have like food allergies, and Hunter had food allergies when he was a baby, so we're thinking that might be kind of where this is headed. So I think tomorrow we're gonna be trying to start like some hypoallergenic formula to see if he responds to that same way that Hunter did. Hunter did much better once we put him on hypoallergenic formula, and so then we're gonna try that route and see if that kind of solves that issue. And then he also had something called sinus brady. So as he's been sleeping the last couple nights, a good thing that has happened is that his heart rate is actually lowered when he's been awake and asleep. So like he's been on the lower end of the average for his age range, which typically means healthier heart. And so I actually asked this to the cardiologist today, and he was saying that, at least clinically, it looks really good. They'll know for sure tomorrow when they do his echo and kind of see how things are going, but clinically it looks really good. He's having these lower heart rates. However, he also was getting a little bit lower than what they would have liked tonight. He was getting down in the 80s, which is the first time he's ever gotten that low. But the cardiologist was saying that as these kiddos get older, the heart rates come down, the heart's getting bigger, and so it is being more efficient basically with how much it's squeezing because it's pumping more. And so it is something that we should kind of expect over time. However, we should kind of expect him to kind of park it between like 80 and 110. And when he's awake, he's been sitting mainly in like the 120s, and then asleep, he's been in the 80 to 100 range. So he's been kind of where the cardiologist was saying he's going to be. So it's just kind of new to us because we didn't have Hunter hooked up to monitors all the time like this. And we are not used to him having heart rates this low. Or if he did have heart rates this low, we were used to people freaking out and running in the room. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment for us. But all in all, that has been his last 2 days. Hunter has had himself a lot of fun with Mimi and Papa, his aunties, and Uncle Elliot. And then actually, forgot to say this, John David and I watched Uncle Elliot compete this morning. He was in a powerlifting meet, and so we got to watch him. That was actually one of the first things we did this morning when we woke up, was watch him lift some. And he did a really great job. And John David enjoyed it. That's actually when he started talking a lot. So from that point on, he talked throughout the day. And kid definitely has some FOMO. He did not want to go to sleep. He took like a 20-minute nap all day. That was all of his sleeping. So he just kept on going. But Hunter also spent the day going to church, then spent time with family, and then went over to his buddy's house, Gatlin, had a lot of fun. So all in all, everybody's had a pretty good day. But if you would pray for these 3 things: one, that John David will continue to progress forward, we'll be able to consolidate his feeds, or get him back to full feeds, and then figure out kind of what's going on with his tummy in terms of like the food allergies, or if it even isn't food allergies. Just pray that we'll get some answers, and kind of get those things sorted out, as well as his echo being good tomorrow, because that is going to be the biggest key to us going home. If the echo is not stable, we're not going home. 2, if you pray for all of those who have lost loved ones, especially those who've lost children. And then 3, if you would pray for all of the kids and families who are battling congenital heart defects, because this is a long, winding road for everyone. And if you would just keep them in your prayers. That's all we've got for tonight. Hope you have a good night. God bless. Y'all continue to choose the day.
Catch up to you. Let me catch up to you. Oh, Elliot is too. Oh, I'm coming. Hello.
You doing that good?
Yeah.
And John David, tell everybody bye-bye.